our student, ASOC, Associated Students of Oxnell College, Student Body President, Jacques Lesure. Jacques Lesure is a senior scholar activist, an independent pattern of study major from the east side of Atlanta. His independent study is entitled Resistive Education in Theory, Research, and Policy. He has served in various leadership roles at the college and is excited to be ASOC president for the 2018-19 school year. Everyone, please welcome your representative, your student body president, Jacques Lesure.
Good evening, fellow peers, collaborators, and change makers. For those of you unaware, I ran for ASOC president on a platform of shared governance, increased student decision-making, and transparency. I'm truly excited to develop and unfold that platform with you all this year for the welfare of our campus community and those past its boundaries. But I was thinking long and hard about what I would say today. And naturally I thought, well, what do people want me to say? What do they expect for me to say today? What place do I fill at such an occasion? And then I said, well, the parents probably want to hear me say, stay focused, make lots of sacrifices now so you can thrive later, and make your family proud. And then I figured faculty, administrators, and staff probably want me to say, make the most of every opportunity and reach out to them if you need anything. And for you all, the students, you probably just want me to say, these will be the best times of your entire life. All those things have validity and should be mentioned, but I'm not here to tell you any of that today. I decided I wanted to share my truth with you. My truth is the truth I've learned about and the truth I've lived out over time. It's so profound that I have to tell it every single chance that I get. I don't need to tell you to make friends, to make memories, or to make time to have fun. I'm well aware you'll do all of that anyways. Besides, that's a huge part of what I'll say today. What I do need to tell you is, regardless of how you've been welcomed so far, regardless of what others have convinced you of today, I hope you never get comfortable here. Because in society, the people and systems that determine this nature are always crafting a livelihood for others that is far from comfortable. We see this along lines of race, class, gender, sexuality, ability, and so forth. The stakes are high. The task ahead is tough. There is no need to insist upon comfort. Comfort, as is often described, is not the same as happiness, but instead a result of complacency. We have to believe that there is growth in our discomfort. And I'm not talking about pulling an all-nighter for a paper. I'm talking about educating yourself on various issues, aligning yourself with other change makers, and actually showing up to do the necessary work. Maybe you picked Oxy because it's in LA. I know I did. We came for the great weather, diverse food scene, and beautiful scenery. Maybe some of us came to Oxy for the strong academic culture and amazing professors. But regardless of any of that, I'm not so sure we all came for the possibility of living and learning a truth that calls for an end to things like homelessness, environmental racism, and terrible schooling experiences for much of the city's Black and brown youth. But even more so, I don't think the majority of us came to Oxy for a chance to improve the conditions of those who suffer in our own campus community. Student protests led by Black students in the AGC building in 2015 explained the need for this. The current organizing of Student Labor Alliance intended to protect hospitality and other service workers on campus explains the need for this. The work of Occidental Students United Against Gentrification in the surrounding Eagle Rock and Highland Park area explains the need for this. The list goes on and on. This sample of work that has and continues to take place should beg the questions: how comfortable can we ever be? At any given time, are we violently ignoring causes we can contribute to? What is a healthy balance, and how can we support one another as a student body in our efforts to make change? Because the truth is, anyone who tells you it's enough to think about our college experiences as some personal journey where we can always prioritize ourselves and our own interests has grossly misrepresented the needs of the world we live in and what can be done about them in this place, in this time. Because the truth is, there are factors, which are unfair, poorly constructed, and intentionally applied that ordain each and every one of us here today as decision makers. Those same factors deem us as worthy of respect, dignity, and humanity. Because of this, if we are not careful, we will bask in self-exploration, justified selfishness, and temporarily muting the concerns of the world. All the while, a world will suffer from our refusal to tell the truth and personally address the consequences of evil. A world will suffer both now and later, near and far, from our negligence and our lack of effort. Because regardless of what we do or don't commit to here at Oxy, the system ahead will support and reward those who are willing to mindlessly lend themselves to institutions of power that poorly affect the vast majority of people. There's no reason for any of this. We don't have to contribute to this. Each and every one of us comes from a long and important lineage of people who saw it important to do a lot more than be concerned with themselves. Lean into that past. Prioritize lessons learned from that history. My personal inspiration is from a Black leadership and intellectual tradition that inspires my advocacy and general worldview. This tradition tells me that there is always much more at stake than the next internship, role, or job opportunity. It also tells me to take everything with a proverbial grain of salt and seek truth. It tells me to carry an unforgiving set of values that will always be aimed at humanizing others in my everyday actions. These values should never be lost out of fear of losing opportunity, even as the system around me continues to reward those who will commit to not being conscious or critical. When I share my vision for shared governance, increased student decision-making, and transparency at Oxy, I get a lot of naysayers. They say, the people here are too wealthy and privileged to care. Their parents don't send them here to speak up. The students here are shallow and only care about vacation and partying. Well, I dare us to prove them wrong. I dare us to get together and work towards a better institution. I dare us to imagine what a safer, healthier, and more fruitful environment will look like both on and off campus. I dare us to do what we can in this place, in this moment. Because the truth is, the truth simply can't afford not to be told by each and every one of us every single time. I'll certainly be joining you in these efforts. I'm excited for us and all those who will be positively impacted by what we commit to doing here and beyond. Remember the saying, if everyone does a little, no one does a lot. When you see me on campus, say what's up. We can talk and get to know one another. You'll be hearing a lot from me, so check your emails and get in the routine of dropping in meetings. I'm thrilled to lead and learn as ASOC president this year. Thank you.